What's up, guys? In today's video, I just wanted to talk about what parks in the Six Flags chain I think may receive the Six Flags America treatment by either being permanently removed and just closed forever, or being sold off to a company that might be better suited to run a park of that size or scale or whatever. Because now the Six Flags portfolio is massive, and there are over 40 different parks and properties in this company, and that's a lot for a company to handle. I mean, I'm sure they're capable of it, but do they want to, and is it worth it? Will they profit off of it? That's the real question here. There's a lot of smaller parks that I want to get into, because let's be real, they're not going to be doing anything with their big parks. The worst we'd see with a bigger park in the Six Flags chain is being sold off to a different company. But we have parks that we know, like Six Flags America and California's Great America. Most likely, it's not 100% down the wire, but it's pretty much going to be closing, most likely at the end of this year, just like Six Flags America. Hopefully we can get an announcement on that. But yeah, a lot of these smaller parks, you know, people really been speculating which ones are going to close. I think a lot of people are just straight up wrong about a lot of them. But, you know, that's the beauty of being able to form your opinion, and especially in this community when there's so many different opinions you can have. But I just want to talk about some of the smaller parks that a lot of people seem to think are going to be on the chopping block that just don't really make sense to sell or permanently close. So the first one I just want to talk about is Michigan's Adventure. So Michigan's Adventure, when you look at the grand portfolio of Six Flags as a whole, it doesn't really line up with the other properties they have. However, if we're talking strictly profitability, Michigan's Adventure, surprisingly enough, and I promise you this is true, is one of the most profitable properties in the Six Flags chain. Now, you gotta think they have less staffing, they are open shorter, their operating costs are much lower than pretty much 90% of the other properties in this company. So the money that they do make is actually quite a lot in terms of the profits that they're able to make. They do very well. This is actually the same situation as Dorney Park too, another Six Flags park. Dorney is actually very profitable. A lot of people don't realize that some of these smaller parks, while they may not seem to like bring in huge crowds, they are bringing in a lot more money, because they aren't operating at such a high cost as some of these other bigger parks. So I think those are two kind of smaller to mid-tier parks that are pretty much safe based on attendance rising at both parks. Michigan's Adventure and Dorney have both had great years in the past few years, and profitability. No secret that this is a capitalist country, so you got to look at the best interest in these companies, and it's making money. Six Flags America pretty much closed, not just because of attendance, that was kind of the big sell and the kind of the scapegoat, but the reality of it is property value. I mean, Six Flags America is on a very valuable plot of land in the DC, Baltimore area, which is one of the most expensive areas in the country. Quite honestly, the plot of land that it's sitting on would generate more revenue than an amusement park. That's just how it is. I don't even know if I would consider how the park has been handled or treated to be why the park's closing. I think it's just in the wrong place. And it's unfortunate for a lot of the enthusiasts in that area. I've talked to a few enthusiasts in that area, and a lot of them are devastated by this, and I feel bad for them. But you gotta remember, this is a business. They have to justify keeping places like this open. They just could not justify keeping Six Flags America as an amusement park. Same with CGA. CGA is being sold off because that area of land is really valuable, and much more valuable used in some other industry rather than an amusement park. And then there's obviously other places like Cedar Point. I don't know if that plot of land would do well as anything other than an amusement park. So property value, the fit, all of that does matter. With that being said, one of the parks I think could be nearing the chopping block is Frontier City. Now, Frontier City's not exactly, I don't think, if anything, I don't think it would close permanently. I think that would be sold off to a smaller company, hopefully like a Herschend, or someone that's willing to invest a bit of money into it. Not a lot, but just something. I mean, it just doesn't match the Six Flags portfolio. It doesn't line up with what their goals are and what they're trying to achieve. So I don't see it fitting in with the company for that much longer. I do predict that within the next 5 to 10 years, the park will be in the hands of a different company. That's basically how I feel about Frontier City. I also think that there is a chance that we could see Valleyfair leave the chain. I know it was one of the main parks that started Cedar Fair. I mean, the fair in Cedar Fair is literally from Valleyfair. But they don't seem to love this property. They kind of almost seem burdened by it a bit. Like, it's kind of just there, that annoying kid that you have. Like, I don't know. It's just, they don't seem enthusiastic about the park. It doesn't meet the criteria for what Six Flags is about at this point. And I could really see this going off to a different company once again. I don't think this would close permanently, but I don't see them lining up in the Six Flags company. Now, this leaves me with one final park I want to talk about. And this is a bit of a stretch because they are getting a new coaster this year and a new investment. But I could see Six Flags New England leaving the chain at some point. I don't know what it is, this park, just the vibes that Six Flags gives off when talking about this park, especially, during their stockholder calls. I don't know, there's just not a lot of emphasis on this park. I mean, you can argue, well, they're investing in it, so why would they get rid of it? Well, Six Flags America's been heavily invested in the last 2 years. They are getting completely closed, not even sold off, just shut down, torn down, right? They just redid the SLC, got new trains and everything, spent millions on that whole steampunk area. Their water park has gotten a water coaster within the last few years. So I don't think investments at this point are something to really lock onto when deciding which parks we are predicting to be sold or closed. So pretty much with Six Flags New England, it's kind of a long shot for me. But if I'm gonna pick another park that I could really see leaving the chain, it's Six Flags New England. And I just think that this area, the park itself, it's a good park. It's just a good, fun park. They have an RMC, pretty good RMC, pretty good Intamin Hyper. They got a B&M Floorless that's pretty fun. It just, I don't know, the vibes of this park and the way that Six Flags corporate talks about it does not give me confidence that they want to keep this park around. Like, hopefully I'm wrong, unless it goes to like a Herschend or, another good company. But I just don't know where the company, I'm not confident that I can pinpoint where the company stands on this property. We'll have to find out in the future. But yeah, so that's a few parks that I think could leave the company. I don't really predict any closing permanently. I did predict Six Flags America would close by 2030 permanently. Just based on sources that I had telling me about the attendance quotas, that said the old Six Flags actually gave them attendance quotas and said, if you don't reach these, we're shutting you down. And they didn't get close, which is so unfortunate. I know most of their attendance was season pass holders, so it was a lot of locals. No one's traveling for this place other than coaster enthusiasts, which is it's detrimental to amusement parks, the tourism factor. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this short, quick little video about what I think the future direction of some of these smaller parks in the Six Flags chain are. Like I said, just predictions, no rumors really about any of these parks other than sources that I have and just hearing how Six Flags talks about these parks and their future plans. Some of them don't seem very invested into the property itself. So that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys like coaster and theme park content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out so much. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. If you'd like to support the channel even more, become a member and receive numerous benefits, such as watching all my videos the day before they release, access to my monthly top 25 coaster list, member shoutouts, and more. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.